We're here for another Wednesday video. How are you all doing? Celtic takes the field tonight, marking our first midweek game since February. This is also our last midweek encounter of the season, which makes this video the final opportunity to prepare you for the match on game day and provide all the essential information in advance, including details from yesterday's media interactions. So let's get to the point. I promised a bit of humor today, and I'll certainly try to show that tonight's match is relevant, even if the reality might be a little different. However, that doesn't stop us from learning and observing important aspects. We'll likely talk about today's match for about, 45 seconds at the end of this video. Maybe a little more, to be honest. I hope so anyway. Most of the video will focus on yesterday's press conference. It was a significant day as the manager was recognized as the best in the Scottish Premiership, receiving a year's supply from a particular vodka brand. During the media interaction, the recurring theme of Celtic's success perhaps being underestimated came up again. There's no doubt that this is something he notices, especially regarding trebles. The question was raised whether Celtic's achievements in winning trebles are now seen as automatic, considering that before his arrival in 2016, only 3 had been won in the club's history. To be fair, the treble only became a possibility in 1946 when the League Cup was introduced. It's a thought that occurs to me, but yes, we had about 80 years when trebles were a target, and until a decade ago, during the first 70 years of this possibility, we only achieved it 3 times. Now we're 1 game away from achieving a total of 9. This is definitely information worth considering, but in fact, it was around 80 years when trebles were viable, and until 10 years ago, we managed it only 3 times in the first 70. Years of this opportunity. Now we are 1 game away from reaching 9 as a club and 6 in just 9 seasons. With all this context that you surely already know, are trebles being seen as guaranteed, it seems reasonable to say yes. He clearly expressed that he believes this perception exists. He mentioned all the great players and managers who have been at the club since 1888 and that we only managed these triumphs 3 times before his return in 2016. He shared some thoughts about his arrival at Celtic in the summer of 2016, bringing a new professional mindset and transforming the club's daily routine. He talked about the updates made in 2016, both on and off the pitch. There's no doubt that reflecting on his arrival in 2016, this was one of the pivotal moments in Celtic's history. I don't think that's an exaggeration. Looking at the years before his arrival, we were kind of adrift, still winning the league, but it was hard not to win a few of those years and secure a trophy here and there. We definitely weren't winning trebles, and in some seasons, not even the double. Then he arrived in 2016, and to be honest, I see this as 2 distinct periods, and the turning point seems to have been his arrival, which gave the club a huge boost regarding standards of squad and how the fans engaged again. We went from stadiums with many empty seats to a place that's always full again, and to be honest, the stadium has been full ever since, except for 1 season when fans weren't allowed in. Interestingly, it was that season when everything seemed to go wrong. Indeed, there was a significant transformation. We went from a stadium with many empty seats to a place that has been packed again. To be honest, it stayed full ever since, except for 1 season when fans were banned. Interestingly, that was the year when everything seemed to fall apart. But outside of that situation, it was an extraordinary period, and I believe much of that is due to the manager's work. We are still walking this journey, and of course we don't take anything for granted. The next match against Aberdeen promises to be a big final, and the manager emphasized the need for players to continue working on their achievements. What was the phrase building on our past? I think that's what he was trying to convey to the players after winning the league title in Tannadice. The players are ready to move forward, but reflecting on whether we consider trebles guaranteed, perhaps yes to some extent. I don't think the fans are doing it maliciously. It's a natural response when we witness something extraordinary. Winning all the domestic trophies available is truly special, as we've seen in previous years and in the number of trebles won before 2016. It was a phenomenal achievement, and it still is. However, seeing something extraordinary happening repeatedly can in some way diminish its uniqueness, making it seem a little more commonplace. That shouldn't be the case, as it remains a remarkable feat. If we manage to secure the treble this year, I will certainly reflect on the accomplishment of this team should they manage it again, not thinking about last season or what's to come next, but focusing solely on the current campaign. winning all domestic trophies would indeed be a monumental achievement, and the team is on the verge of making it happen, something we should never overlook. I realize I've rambled on and gotten a bit off topic, but I resonated with the manager's thoughts, and perhaps it's a little presumptuous of me to discuss the future beyond the immediate challenges we have ahead. Achieving this goal would be a significant milestone, and the team is one step away from achieving is something we should always value. I feel like I've gone on for quite a while and strayed from the topic, but I agree with what was said, and it may be a bit bold of me to talk about the future, especially with the possibility of a treble season, but this is the reality we find ourselves in. Recently, there have been questions about this topic, and this was probably the first true insight we've had into the upcoming summer transfer window. It's really quite intriguing. The idea was expressed that should we manage to keep all our key players, which is a crucial condition, I would be truly surprised if we managed to keep everyone. However, it was mentioned that assuming this happens, only a few adjustments would be needed to strengthen the group. This clearly indicates a focus on evolution rather than revolution. I hope that makes sense to you. Then further clarification was provided, signaling that discussions were focused on acquiring 2 or 3 quality players should we manage to keep our current squad. This was without a doubt notable. There's a general understanding of the player negotiation model, and it was highlighted that essentially all the club's players are available for transfer to some degree. If a substantial offer comes in, any player could leave the club, but it's important to be prepared for this, as the need to adapt to potential departures was mentioned. This reminded me of a previous statement from another manager who emphasized the importance of being agile in the transfer market. I believe a very similar sentiment is being expressed now. Discussing the inclusion of 2 or 3 quality players, it's important to highlight that this goes beyond Kieran Tierney, who is undoubtedly a significant signing for us this summer. We can already say that Kieran Tierney might be the standout acquisition we make, as he is an exceptional left back. Joining our group. There were also questions about whether there's been much communication with him recently, and it was revealed that although there haven't been extensive talks lately, they were exchanging messages beforehand. It's clear that Kieran Tierney is eager to return to the club, and while we frequently discuss this matter, having him back in the main team will be crucial for our aspirations. Recently, communication has been sparse, but messages were exchanged before, and it's clear that there is a strong desire for a return to the club. The conversations often revolve around this, and having a specific player back in the first team will be monumental for us. His presence will make a significant difference on the left side. This is part of the reason why it's essential to cherish these moments. As fans, it's important for us to take advantage of these occasions, perhaps not so much today, but certainly on Saturday, and without a doubt during the cup final, especially if we come out victorious. Embracing these experiences and enjoying these moments is key, but at the same time, just the thought of this player rejoining the team and the possibility of the club making strides next season, along with all the commitments in Europe, makes it hard not to feel a surge of excitement for the future. It seems like we are in a favorable position. Speaking of transfers, a report has emerged from a reliable source suggesting that both our club and a rival are keeping an eye on a particular winger situation. I understand the skepticism that arises whenever reports involve both clubs. It often seems like the media just groups us together to grab attention. However, when such information comes from southern sources, it's wise to be cautious. Often, this seems like a strategy to attract clicks from our region. However, when the information comes from a respectable figure, it gains more credibility. Apparently, our club is the focus of this article, indicating that we are the more interested party. If there's competition for this player, we're clearly ahead, as we initially mentioned that he, being very young and playing as a winger, was already on our list of potential signings in January before we secured another player. He currently belongs to Blackburn, but this situation may not last much longer. His contract with them ends at the end of the season, and it's likely that he has already played his final game for the club. Supposedly, a long walk off the field after his last home match suggested that he won't renew with the club. There's another athlete in a delicate situation. He is under contract with Blackburn, but probably not for much longer. His deal expires at the end of the season, and he likely made his final appearance there. It was noted that his long walk off the field after his final home game suggests that he won't renew with the club. However, the manager stated that there's still hope to keep the player, though he seems to need time to reflect on his future. Our club is interested in him, and there's no doubt that there's a need to recruit a fast player, especially since another key player may be out until the festive period. He's expected to return before then, but that's the situation. While it's believed that another player will stay next season, it's likely that he will make his transfer next summer. Therefore, if it's possible to sign someone this season who can take the position of another player in the first part of the season, it will be interesting to see. This new player will have great opportunities to prove himself, and if the other player leaves next summer, we'll have someone ready to step in without needing to search for another fast player at the last minute. So it's clear that signing a player like this is a priority for our club this summer. Will it be this winger, or will it be another player? Either way, his name deserves to be remembered, as there's a match tonight, a football game against a rival at their stadium. The injury update brings good news. A specific player who missed some games is back for this match. As for the absentees, another player, as expected, is still out, and hopes are that he'll return by the weekend. There's another who apparently participated in training recently, but with slight discomfort. He trained, but it was a cautious decision from the club not to take him to play. This means that he won't reach a significant goal tally this season. He currently has 33 goals and would need an impressive number of goals in the next matches, which doesn't seem likely, no matter how good his performances have been. However, not everything can be perfect. The main focus is that he's in shape for the upcoming tournament. Goals. Is he at 33? Then he would need a hat trick and one more goal in the next games. And I don't see that happening, no matter how incredible his performances have been. But I believe he can't have everything. The priority here is Dye and making sure he is ready for the cup final, essentially. If he's not fit for the weekend, we won't rush him. Given that we're expecting changes for tonight, Dyson wouldn't start anyway. So that's the injury report. The manager confirmed that there will be changes for tonight's game. We already know that Velcala will start, which gives us a hint about the changes we are expecting. So without further ado, here's what might be my boldest prediction for the lineup of the season. I'm choosing Alistair as a goalkeeper, and for the right back, I'm going with Johnson, as the manager has been frequently mentioning his return. He might be joking, but I trust that Johnson will play with Ralston possibly playing on the trophy presentation day, and then Johnson back in the cup final. In defense, I'm considering Trusty Scales. I'm not sure, maybe Narovsky will come in. Schloop, I believe, will play left back, probably his last game as a starter for the club this season. In midfield, I don't see the need to start Callum McGregor. I'm pretty sure Bernardo McCown will start, and I'll put Angles behind him. The attacking trio will feature Yang on the right, Forrest on the left. Please score a goal, James, we're starting to get concerned, and Johnny Kenny up front. We may also see some young players, Sean Marda or Jude Bonner, starting the game. I wouldn't be completely surprised by this. Let me share a little secret with you. I really didn't want to create a lineup for new players today, so I thought we'd go with this team. By the way, I didn't prepare my usual fun lineup for these games. That don't matter where I would put Paulo Tim at right back and Stevie up front, among other details. I didn't do that. Thinking about it, maybe I can find last year's version. Alright, here we go. This is from last year, folks. Big laughs. Timeless laughs. For those who are listening, the goalkeeper is Barkas. Now I've put Paulo Tim in the right back position and Stevie up front along with all those other details. Now that I'm thinking about it, I can just look for last year's lineup. Alright, here it is from last year for everyone. Big laughs, truly timeless moments. For those tuning in, the goalkeeper Barkas is on the right back. We have Stevie with a pair of centre backs composed of Nick DeMarco, the lawyer you might remember, who helped the manager. I can't remember exactly what he helped with though. It was something related to his comments after the match against Hearts, or maybe something earlier this season. Last season feels a bit confusing. Anyway, Nick DeMarco is alongside Paulo Tim. Never laugh at your own jokes, Hamish. I apologize for that. For some unknown reason, Greg Taylor remains at left back, which is a mystery. In midfield, we have a classic formation with James Vic Jerry, McCulloch and Ryan 118 ahead. Oh, don't laugh at your own jokes, Hamish. On the right wing, we have great womenfish who caused a stir on Celtic's social media a few years ago with Santa on the left, and of course John Lundstrom up front. I remember why Lundstrom is included. He knows how to move around Celtic Park as he became famous for scoring an own goal in a derby. Oh dear, I find this much funnier than I probably should. I really should have prepared another lineup this year to ensure another laugh in 12 months. Anyway, tonight's game, as mentioned, is indeed a football match. It's not one that many will remember after 10 p.m. tonight, but it always offers a chance for Celtic to secure another victory, surpassing 90 points, which would be great. Plus, it allows us to see a few different players in action tonight. I really hope Johnny Kenny starts. I have a strong feeling he will start, and I'm looking forward to seeing him on the pitch, not playing for Shamrock Rovers. No offense, not for the B team, and definitely not just entering a derby with 5 minutes remaining. Let's see him start a match. What can Johnny Kenny bring to the team? And the future H. Yang, of course. And I hope James Forrest also gets some opportunities to play and score. So there are various different aspects to consider tonight. And the main point I'll conclude with, as I mentioned on Monday in 2 weeks, it's possible to maintain focus as we move forward. The expectation is that H. Yang and James Forrest will be on the pitch, and there's hope for a goal from him as well. There are various themes to be addressed tonight. The main point to highlight, which was mentioned earlier in the week, is that in 2 weeks during a long summer without Celtic games, there will be a real longing for a match that might seem insignificant against Aberdeen to look forward to. Therefore, it might be wise to enjoy tonight's game, after which the attention can turn to Trophy Day and the Cup Final. Tonight's game is scheduled for 8 p.m., which will be 15 minutes after the other league matches, so keep an eye on that time. The match can be watched on Sky Sports, especially on Sky Sports Football in the UK. Tomorrow there will be a return to reflect on everything, and the personal jokes might be quite entertaining. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. In a move that has stunned Scottish football, Rangers midfielder Nicholas Raskin has reportedly agreed to join Celtic, igniting controversy across the Old Firm divide. The Belgian international, who arrived at Ibrox in January 2023 from Standard Liège, had become a fan favorite for his tenacious play and leadership in midfield. Yet, in a turn of events few could have imagined, Raskin has now said yes to a transfer that no Rangers supporter wanted to believe possible. The shock announcement came via his representatives earlier this week, and though official confirmation from either club is still pending, sources close to the player suggest that terms have been agreed in principle for a summer switch to Parkhead. The 23-year-old is reportedly seeking a new challenge and was intrigued by the project being built at Celtic under Brendan Rodgers, who has made it clear he admires Raskin's versatility and engine in the center of the park. Raskin's decision is not only a bombshell in terms of sporting rivalry, but also reignites one of the fiercest football feuds in the world. The last high-profile player to cross the Glasgow divide was Mo Johnston in the late 1980s, a move still spoken of with intensity by both sets of fans. This latest twist promises to echo through Scottish football for years. Rangers fans have taken to social media in disbelief, with many branding Raskin a traitor, while others have expressed a sense of betrayal and disappointment. From being viewed as a future captain to now being cast as a villain, the midfielder's status in Ibrox folklore has changed overnight. Conversely, Celtic supporters are cautiously optimistic, knowing full well the player's quality, but also aware of the pressure that comes with signing from the other side. If the move goes through, it will mark one of the most controversial transfers in Scottish football history. With the summer transfer window still weeks away from opening, the drama is only just beginning. Hello fan, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.